They're gonna make the profiles boom, 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 boom. It's what it is. You already know what it is right here on Gunner's Profiles. Some of the realest and illest talk, man. Profiling, styling, doing what we does. What it isn't is added preservatives and fakery, right? As you can tell by that thumbnail, there's someone that you ain't never seen before, right? The funniest Norteno or the funniest times or the funner times that I've ever had being incarcerated with someone were with this guy right here, Tweety the Napa, right? Now trip out, man. You know, every once in a while, you have that one homeboy that has an impact on your life. You're like, God damn, this vato could tell a story, or man, this vato was fucking too hard for the radio, or this vato was a super norteño, or super sureño, or this vato right here. Okay, I don't know about the vato right here, right? You know what I mean? There's always that situation you find yourself in where you judge a character. You're not supposed to judge any man, but you do. Everyone does. They're like, yeah, that vato's cool and shit, but that one time the homeless took his finger in his butt. I thought that to what degree of butt, I don't know. It wasn't cool, right? So I just remember that one time. It was only one time, but it was one time, right? Now, trip out. In a Menudo Style in direct fashion, I wanted to talk about the homeboy Tweety the Napa because when he came into the compa, when I first met him, I was leery about the way he looked and he carried himself. This vato was like a tortuga, a straight turtle, slow motion. The vato mobbed. Big old head, right? As you can see in the thumbnail. Just mobbed, had a little rocha, pants pulled up, creased up. I automatically, look, I'm going to keep it real. I thought he was a Southsider. The way that he carried himself, the way he looked, just the way he walked in and presented himself, we automatically assumed he was a Southsider, then almost put a battery pack on his head, right? So the vato walks in, I'm in prison, and this is out of state, we're out of prison, we're doing time, and I'm on this compound, there's only one other homeboy who's from Stockton with me, and we're functioning, we're maintaining, right? And we're hoping that another homeboy would come. And there wasn't no Southsiders at this time on this unit. It was pretty much a lot of old men, a couple of Africanos, some white guys. You know what I mean? Sprinkle them in, brother, the woods. Some Asians. And just a little bit of everyone, but there was barely any Mexicanos. There was a few paisas, man. Respects to those ones that were there, man. They were doing their thing. But there was me and one other homeboy, and that's it as far as Chicanos. So we would wait every day to see who would come. Shit, we was happy if the Southsider came, man. We just needed some conversation, right? A little fight, whatever the case may be. At that time, I was fully functioning. So I was, you know, I had my ways about myself. Wasn't nobody going to walk on my theater or walk on my compa homes without getting presented with that fade. You know, and I'm sure they felt the exact same way about me. There was rules to this place, man. There was no, hey, buenos dias, and it's all respect. It was respect, but at the same time, you were not allowed to function with each other. It was split decisions. Anyways, so the vato comes on and tell the homeboy, hey, look, trip out. I'm going to go hit him up. And as soon as he says something, I'm going to crack him. You down? He was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm going to come up from behind and we're going to do the molly whopper. You know what I mean? We're going to do the Richard Simmons. I said, what's that? He said, you know, the step up. The step. I don't know to what degree you're talking about, Holmes. And I knew who Richard Simmons was, so that made me skeptical about him. He was the one with the finger in his butt. Now, trip out. So here comes this homeboy. He's walking slow motion, all creased up and shit. He's looking around. You know, he's doing what he has to do to stay aware. I automatically seen that and I said, okay. Now, most of the Southsiders that would have came on that compa, they'd have got off immediately because they would have already known or been given the heads up, you know, that this was a northerner or a norteño compa, meaning that this is where we function and they weren't allowed to come here and vice versa. There was compas that we weren't allowed to go to. But still, the placas like to play games. So they would throw people wherever they threw them, and vatos would get off, or they would PC up before they came to that Sally port, right? And that's just how it went. Facts. So this vato comes through, big old head, just mobbing. I see you bob at your head, because I can see you, right? His shit's bobbleization. He's got the bobble wobble on. And as he comes through, I'm like, all right, okay, this one's definitely from LA. You know what I mean? His pants are pulled up, creased up. He got a big old shirt on. I said, look at that camisa. I'm going to take that motherfucker right off his back. Don't get no sangre down here. I'm telling the homeboy. And I said, hey, homie. I walk up on him. Where you from? He took a step back. He said, Tweety, Napa, eh? And I said, Napa, right? Because I have familia that used to live in Napa. They don't live in Napa. To what degree in Napa? The vineyards, Napa, right? So I knew that Napa was predominantly Norteños, or at least at one point it was. I don't know how it is now, but it's near Vallejo, that area. So he's like, I'm from Napa, Holmes. I was like, you homeboy? He's like, Norte. I was like, oh, shit, you're one of us, eh? You know what I mean? You don't look like one of us, but you are one of us. Come on, man. Come on over here, right? The water's just fine. Step on in. Watch out for the homeboy right there. He's weird, right? So he sits down. We kick back. We start chopping it up. Me and him develop a relationship, man. That's the homeboy, right? Every day, he was one of those homeboys where he didn't try to be funny, but something funny came out of the conversation. He was just that funny fucking dude. You know what I mean? Hey, what about me amuses you? You know what I mean? am I here to make you laugh? No, but Sasuke, I ain't laughing with you, I said this time. I'm laughing at you. It was because some of the things he said were just too outlandish, and I thought were so frivolous, bro, and he was just dumb. He was the good-ass dumb homeboy that we loved, right? So every day, hey, about that feria. I don't know to what degree of feria, but he had money, so he'd be like, hey, you guys want to bust some spread, eh? Right? And he talks real slow like that. I said, yeah, hell yeah, I want to bust some spread. He was like, hey, well, trip out. I'm going to bring the soups, the beans, the cheese, and the carne. What are you going to bring? I said, my bowl. You done brought everything else. Hey, trip out. I got hot sauce. Shit. And a little pack of seasoning. We're good. He was like, shit, shoot it, right? So he was always one of those homeboys. I wasn't trying to get over on him. I had love for him. But at the same time, I mean, if he was fucking throwing it out there, said, yeah, I was going to eat it, right? We had a conversation one day. And this is the funniest situation about this homeboy. And I'll tell you guys why he was incarcerated and all that. And we'll get to that since I'm profiling him. But he comes in one day and we're having a conversation and we're talking about pirujas. We're talking about tortas. We're talking about getting it in on the calles, right? Sasuke, and we're boasting and bragging and all our conquests. And Sasuke, I'm acting like I'm Conan the Barbarian because I got a big old pipote. I'm swinging that motherfucker. Hey, trip out. I was out there getting all Arby's. This vato's like, yeah, is that right? Hey, I was a porn star, right? Stop it, right? Stop it. That's when we stopped in our tracks. Like, come on, bro. You know, I would have believed that you had two big old 450s, two big old tortas at one time. Quite understandable, the way you move, right? But fucking talking about you was a porn star. Yes, Simon, I was a porn star in Los Angeles in L.A. Shut the fuck up, right? You're from Napa, so you don't even know how to spell it, L.A., right? He said, no, serio, right? I said, well, tell me the story. Let me see what happened, right? Trip out on this. He said, hey, the name of the fucking porn was called American Bukkake. I said, shut up. He said, no, there was like 100 vatos in a fucking room and one hyena. I said, yeah, we was all with our pipa in our hands, having it our way. I said, having it your way, right? You know, this is getting a little funny style, but I still want to hear the conversation. So what's going on? They both got to telling me that he said, Saturday, I'm on the cover. I'm wearing a ski mask and shit. But you could tell it's me, right? Look, I didn't believe none of that. I said, how much did they pay? He said, they gave me 100 bolas. Yeah, he said, I was just walking by me and my primo and it said, fucking porn here. And I just came in and I thought I was going to go get a glory hole, but it wasn't a glory hole. I said, what was it? It was the filming of American Bukkake. He said, hey, you want to sign up? He said, I signed up and I was like the 31st guy. I was like, oh shit, right? How'd that feel? Fantastic, right? So anyways, he tells us this outlandish story about he did this in LA one day. He just happened to be at that certain area at the certain time at the certain place. We weren't buying it, but it was good conversation. It was funny. You know, we were clowning the whole time. Come on, bro. You know, he was like, no, sir, I bukkakied her, right? He didn't even know how to spell bukkake yet. I don't either. But anyways, this is what's his story and whatever. So we clowned him. And anyways, we kind of moved on from that story. And a lot of fucking funny things happened, man. I remember a Southsider came in. They about to took two swings. Woo, woo. Southsider hit him with the jab. Beep, right? That was it for the homeboy. You know, I'm not saying the homeboy didn't have hands. I'm not trying to clown him because I seen him smack some fools. But that day he didn't, right? That day, I don't know. I said, what happened? He was all fucked up. I was trying a new tactic, right? I said, well, stick to the old shit. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He was like, I know, bro. So I get, you know what I mean? Fuck it. Hey, Tyson, he's right. You know, you don't know what happens till you get hit in the mouth. I said, exactly. yeah, that motherfucker got hit in his mouth. So Trip, what the homeboy was incarcerated for, was an aggravated assault, right? Allegedly. He had caught an assault. He had assaultive behavior, man. He was out there smacking fools. He had told me that, you know, he moved into an area that was mostly Southsiders. They automatically assumed for the longest time, him and his old lady, that that's what he was doing. That's who he was. They never approached him. One day he was at a tienda and some vatos approached him, to which he told them where he was from. They got off. He got smacked on a little bit. His head beat in a little bit. That's why he had that dip in his head if you look close. He came back and got to getting it, right? You know, he got him a little bit. He handled his business, and of course he picked up 9 years. Or I think it was 7 or 9 years, and he got locked up, and that was it. He was out of state. I was out of state, so we was there. And it was like, hey, homeboy, it's just us and no one else. And that was it. The homeboy from Stockton, he was there, finger in the culo, like, hey, bro, I don't know what the... We were all kicking it. Eventually, a couple more homeboys. A homeboy that Salas came, a homeboy from Sanjo, a big rooster. He was an OG. He came, man. He was a cool motherfucker. I remember when he paroled, it was a sad day at Teja. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you right now. He was from Texas originally, moved to San Jose, was a good homeboy, good Norteno, a righteous OG, and gave me a lot of game. You know, that I could say. And then he wiggled on, man. He paroled, and that was what it was. But Tweety was the homie. Like I said, we always fucked with each other, man. Always clown. Had a good time. And so about 6 months after that conversation, I don't forgot about the conversation. It was what it was. There was plenty of other conversations that happened, bro, that I called bullshit on. I was right. You know, he gets a letter from his jefita. And it has a picture, bro. And in that picture, I still have a fucking picture. He gave me a picture of all the homies from Napa back in the, because he used to tell us, we was on the Teen Angel magazine back in the day, Saturday, right? Nah, I don't believe you. Right? No, my water was. It was. He gave me the picture. There he was, like, there looking like a maniaco. He was there. Anyways, he has this fucking black and white cutout, and it's of a cover of an old VHS tape of a porn. And sure enough, there's a vato with a ski mask doing this. And you can see all his tattoos and big fat stomach. And sure enough, big old head and the ski mask. It was him, and it said American Bukkake, and had some white girl with, she had like 6 black pipas in her hand. And I said, well, shit, there was that. He said, see me? I'm the one that's behind her. I said, I see you. The one right there next to that fucking Africanos pipote. He said, yeah, the one. Not the one with the big one, but the semi-big one. That's me, right? I said, this motherfucker was too much, right? I'll never forget him. But every once in a while in life, you'll run into some good homeboys like that. You respect the shit out of him. You got nothing but love for him. You lay your life down on the line for the homeboy, right? And he's willing to do the same thing, but you can't help capping it a little bit. You can't help clowning a little bit, because some of these stories and the way he tells them, bro, he just had that delivery. If I ever run into him, man, I'm going to try to interview him and bring him on YouTube so that way you guys can see. Because that vato, hey, he'll tell a 5-minute story and turn it into 35 minutes. That vato will be like, hey, Sasuke, she had a big old nalga, right? I was like, damn, you could have just said she had a big ass, Holmes. He said, no, but it was big, right? The vato was stupid. Just the way he told the story. But like I said, man, you'll meet real ones, and people will automatically assume, just because of the way they talk or the way they act or carry themselves, that they're not about that business. That's furthest from the truth. This individual was truly committed to being a Norteno. He was truly committed to his stance in the cause. He was truly committed and educated as well. You know, he came with a lot of indoctrination from Napa, from the Bay Area, where, you know, he did a lot of time in San Quentin. And so when he came with this, he definitely gave some game to some of the homeboys that weren't aware, you know, and even gave me some game that I wasn't aware of. He was in the know, and that was just a good, righteous homeboy. You never know who you're going to run into. You know what I mean? And me and Dubs was talking about it the other day, and I said, you know what's a trippy world? You could be in this world right here. It's such a small world, and people, they don't realize it. You know, you could be like, man, there's one vato. There's this one vato, Holmes. You know what I mean? Man, this is the only vato that I ever had me shook up. Man, I ain't trying to fucking be anywhere near this motherfucker. He's the one guy, and I guarantee that's the one guy you're going to run into. Out of this whole world, this vato lives in Egypt, riding a camel, wearing a Mr. Capone hat sideways, and fucking, you got another guy over here in Texas wearing an SPM hat sideways. Look at, and you're going to run into the same individuals that it's like you speak it into existence. You're like, man, out of everyone in this whole planet, Holmes, I hope I don't run into these two vatos. You go to the fucking Ramate, they're right there. You know what I mean? Eating a elote. You're like, what? Right? I can't believe it. Yeah, they will believe it. You speak it into existence. That's the energy of the world. That's the way it works, man. This homeboy right here, I was privileged and glad and happy, man, that I happened to run into him in a place where neither one of us thought we'd be, but we were there, Holmes. And we put it down. You know, we handled our business. You know, shit, we got beat up a couple times. Fuck, I remember one time we seen a fucking Chicano dude walking through. We said, oh, that's a Sureño right there. To what degree? I don't know, but definitely the wind blew him in, right? And he dropped his bolsita and he's looking. He's like, what's up, Bessie? Through the window. I'm like, all right. I'm right there. There's like, in the day room, there's like tables. And I'm right by the table and I'm just doing this. You see me bobbing my head because you can see it, right? I'm like, all right. I'm giving him this look. Look at the look. All right, homie. Okay. Right? And he's like, what's up, so that's it. Right? I'm like, okay. To what degree? So we gonna find out right now, sir. Right? They popped that door and there were 6 of them. I only seen the one. That was an old school Folsom setup, right? It was me and the homeboy Tweety. He's right there. I was like, you ready? He's like, we're gonna do this, eh? Right? I was like, yeah, we better. Fuck, you better. I mean, I know what I'm gonna do, right? I have my little pico right here. Like, shit, I'm gonna scrape someone. The first one coming through, I'm gonna scrape that little dude. Man, the door popped. 6 bottles right there. Big old bottles. Dropped the bag. Bolsters! I was like, ah! Scrape them! Right? Boom. Tweety was like, hey, you didn't say that we had to... It just be like that sometimes, man. It went downtown Julie Brown. Let me tell you something, though. We handled our business. Everybody was on the ground. We're all mixed up. I can't see nothing. He said, hey, I'm going back to LA and just doing porn from now on. We were all fucked up. Anyways, with that being said, gente, I kind of just wanted to profile the homeboy, man. Put it out there, man. I've been sitting on this one for a long time. The homeboy Tweety at Napa. Wherever you are, homes, I send my love and my respects. You already know what it is, man. And gracias for supporting my habit when it comes to spreads for at least a year straight. The vato's like, hey, when are you going to get your package? It's coming for in another month. Knowing damn well I didn't have a motherfucking penny. You know what I mean? The Heine was out there giving a minas mamon to some fucking dude named Tyrone. She wasn't trying to send me no money. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, I get 10 bolas from this bitch. I was like, hey, I'm about to leave you. She said, shit, you about to leave me? You ain't going nowhere, Holmes, right? I was like, you're right. Can I get at least like $15, $20? Fuck, man, the struggle's real. She was like, hey, I'm going to send you shit for your hygiene, but I know one of your other bitches better say. I was like, one of my other bitches, right? You know, shit, I'm trying to get another bitch, man. Hook me up. Anyways, with that being said, just a little profile today. We taking it back old school, man. Be on the lookout. I'm doing reactions on Gunners Collective. You already know what that be like. I will still be dropping bedtime stories. We're keeping it pushing. And the propensity to fucking keep it pushing is real, man, when it comes to the gun. I stay working and lurking. You know what I do, man? Never twerking. I don't do that shit, right? I just keep it real. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you enjoyed this story. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving for your family. Only you can do. I can't do it for you, eh? At this point, I don't even want to anymore. I'm too old, right? But I'm sure you can. You know, so get up off your ass, put your boots on, and go mop some floors at Taco Bell. Whatever it takes, Hans, just make sure there's some presents under the fucking tree for your kids, eh? You know what I mean? Don't go out like a poop butt over there smoking the fucking bass rock. I remember when the world went crazy back in 1985. Orale! You already know what to do. Like, man, if you like this, please hit that like and subscribe and a thumbs up. If not, you can hit me with the thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears this crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, and that's bringing you guys the best possible content I possibly can. Real stories, actual fact, real true, no fakery, no shaky, no bakery. We don't do that shit right here, man. We're just trying to, hey, I'm only going to give it to you as raw doggy as I can, and that's just what it is. Whether you like it, you don't, you receive it, you ain't, you can't, you shall not. That's up to you. I'm going to do what I does, cuz, at the end of the day, and I'm going to say it with my chest. The gun, bang, bang, in that fashion.